I'm sitting in Amsterdam with Ganga, and we're going to talk together for my new book, Meetings with Remarkable People. And this year in January, I met Ganga. I've known about her for many years, but I finally met her in a taxi in Mahabalipuram, along with her beautiful daughter and her daughter's beautiful children. I looked into the taxi, and the rest of the day I was like a balloon floating down the street. So I realized she was definitely what's the word?
Remarkable.
A remarkable person. Yeah. But the real reason why I feel Ganga is a remarkable person, because as I understand, and you can tell us perhaps a story, when she was 20, she left her university and went off to India, hitchhiking part of the way, and arrived in Rishikesh before the Beatles arrived. And there, by the Ganga, she met my master and her master, Papaji.
Yes, true.
So this is definitely a remarkable story. Not many 20-year-olds go off to India like that.
It's true.
So I'm very, very happy now to you to unfold your story.
Thank you. Well, for myself today, I find it's a bit like a legendary moment, you know, because everything went so smoothly. I left with a determination to find my master, to know myself, as Socrates, the gnotisio, know yourself, as Socrates jumped into my heart when I studied the philosophical course. So I knew. He put words to my search, because I didn't know what exactly I was searching, something else, but what? So that was amazingly important, because I knew what I want. And as I had read, I was attracted to read younger, all those Zen stories with masters and disciples. So I knew it's a master I have to find. Yeah, so I found Papaji, as you said. Or I must say Papaji found me without any pride, but it's part of the beauty of the story. And it was immediate. For me, immediate recognition of the one I can trust and follow. Because he asked me, what do you want? At the bank of the Ganga at 5 o'clock in the morning. And I said, I know that what I will tell, and my mind cannot go beyond, but I want cosmic consciousness, but if you know something more, I want that more. And then of course, he said, but what do you do for that? I meditate, show me. And then I fell into a meditation. I don't know how long it took, probably not long, but for me it was eternity. When I opened my eyes, I looked at the Ganga flowing, some birds, him. It's so simple. I don't know, the things were just as they were. And so I fell into his feet. That was the thing. But then, very mischievously, he never reappeared.
For a long time.
For a long time, for 8 months.
Right.
So I waited for him, and I didn't know his name. I didn't know nothing about that man who didn't have a particular sign. So I decided we have one common thing, is the place where we met. So I left my cave, and I had a blanket, a pot for cooking, and I sat and slept and meditated at that spot for 8 months. And one day I was in a kind of, I think, samadhi or something like that, deep meditation. I turned my back and I saw him coming. So that was the beginning of my life with him.
And in this life with him, you could say that has been your whole life, actually. Is that right?
With many chapters.
Many chapters.
Yes,
Right.
many
Right.
chapters. But of course, he was the pillar of that life. Yeah, sure. My master.
And the first chapter was you as his student? Is that the first
Yes,
chapter?
so I felt he never declared anybody's disciples, but I felt I am his disciple because I follow him, and he made me with the months his wife. So there was some other role, but for me, the essential was that I was his. He was my master. I didn't saw him differently, even though with life things happen. And that's, I must say, it's my luck, because there was nothing which could veil my purpose. So we lived together. I could accompany him when, he was not very known except from a few, of course, Indian devotees. So I was accompanying where he was invited. He was quite a nomad at the time. Or we were in he was sleeping in some ashram, I was sleeping in some other place, because at that time the ashram were not so open as now. They were not accepting foreigners. But anyway, we were together. We walked a lot near the Gangas. Very simple, simplest life. But you see, it was for me, I was sometimes repeatedly telling him I can die now because I'm totally fulfilled. So I didn't realize anything, but to be at my master's feet was like I'm totally fulfilled. And of course this evolved. And so I had questions and he replied, not always as you want things, but it was his way to always surprise the mind. He had really a Zen way. He was surprising the mind. Because you see, you have known him in Lucknow, but at the time, there was nobody to listen to him. So it was not satsang in this way. It was just some koan, something which was surprising the mind. So it was more about rooting out the mind, at least for a second. So I was into that till I had always a problem of visa, but probably it had to be this way. So at some point he asked me to educate Mukti, our child, in the West. So I went back to Belgium. And for years,
So you went back to Belgium
in
together
81.
or by yourself?
No, alone.
With Mukti, who was...
Yeah. And from 1981, I must say, till 1992, we had a very dense correspondence.
Right.
So I didn't feel to, of course, when I could meet him means every 3 years, because I had no money, and him not also. I had a very dense correspondence, so I didn't really feel I am separate, because the essential was alive. But of course, when I could go there, I was overjoyed.
Right. And you were meanwhile living maybe with your family back in Belgium, in Brussels?
Just I was at the beginning with my father, and then I had a flat.
Right.
So with many animals.
And also it was quite a handful to have a little girl, I think. Yeah? She was
Yeah, sure.
growing up quickly, probably.
And then that was a chapter of life. And then I came to see him from 86 or 87 now, I think 86. There was a change in Papaji's life, because some foreigners started to visit him. not only as devotees, but as people who knew the value of, of his upadeshas, of his sentences. And so when I met him in 89, 86, then 89, a bit more people came, and I understood, not at once, but I understood it's a new chapter between us. Means the family will is there, but it will not show up. It's more really as everybody else coming to satsang or sitting near him at the time. And then in 92, it was the blossom of Lucknow starting.
Right.
And I went to, when I arrived, I didn't know everything. No, I didn't know. It was very new to me.
Right.
And I went to the first satsang, and after the satsang, so there were like 150 people, beautiful, I mean, a devotion, an interest, a passion in a group. I didn't know groups,
Right.
I was very innocent about groups.
Right.
So I was impressed. Oh, so many people love what he says. Because I tell you, when he was invited to Europe for the first time in 1971, till I must say, all those years, is the same master, isn't it? Nobody could I don't know, he was not understood.
Right. Right.
He was giving birth, but there was nobody to really wake up to that.
Right.
It's only in the 80s that people started to be aware.
Right.
Amazing. So for me, who didn't see the evolution because I was not there a lot those years. So I go to the satsang, I enjoyed up to the max what he was expressing and how he was responding, that I knew, but I was blown away when it ended because I felt all what I heard in 2 hours, I heard it in 20-something years. They all have in 2 hours what I could hear all those years. I could not believe. It was amazing.
Right.
Amazing.
Right.
But then it didn't allow me to go to further satsang. I had to go to the kitchen. To prepare his food with 1 or 2
Right.
during the satsang. So it was very interesting, very amazing.
Right.
So that was also another chapter of life.
Right. Right.
And of course another...
But you had actually been travelling with him in Europe. That must be a chapter.
that I travelled all the
In
time with
Spain
him.
and France,
Yeah,
Switzerland,
And in Germany.
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 Yeah.
He was first invited in Köln.
Oh, really?
Yes.
That's where I live, of course. Right.
Yes, in Köln.
Oh.
And then the one who invited him was an ex-disciple of Mahesh Yogi. We met in Rishikesh like that, as it was at that time. We were walking, and for some reason there was not so many foreigners. Master was looking at the face, he said, oh, it must be, why are you here? And then it was starting, some satsang was starting very spontaneously. So this one invited Master, and he rented a car to travel by car in Germany, and then in Italy, and then again in Berlin, and then to Barcelona, and all that.
I heard a story that sometimes he would go to Switzerland, where
Yeah.
J. Christian Murty had a camp.
Yeah, in Sarnen, yeah.
Were you there also?
I was there once. He went twice. I went once.
Right.
And those years were very genuine, because you see, at Vaita, those talks were not so known. So it was like, wow, what do we hear? It's fantastic. And So J. Krishnamurti was a beautiful gentleman. I don't know if you
Yeah,
know
I
him.
met him.
Ah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
And but then you see, when we were in Paris, we met a disciple of Krishnamurti, and he was struck when he met Master. And so through him we went to Sana, and he had a saying which remains, and I find it brilliant. He said, Krishnamurti empties the cup, Papaji breaks the cup. And
Right,
it's very nice.
Yeah. I met one disciple of the Master who had been at those meetings because apparently J. Krishnamurti would talk for 2 days,
Yeah.
then he'd have a rest day,
Yeah.
and on the rest day Papaji talked.
Yeah, yeah.
And that was very beautiful.
But he loved very much Krishnamurti.
Yeah.
Gentle.
Right.
But
But in those years, you didn't start yourself to teach and share.
No, because I was still a seeker.
Right, right.
I could not imagine. It was not in the air, at the time to.
You were mummy and you were the.
No.
No?
I was following his teaching, but I was not yet up to there.
Right.
Even though sometimes I had no more questions, but no.
Right. I think it's very interesting what you're saying, that you were, if you like, living day by day.
Yeah.
And in a way, therefore, you know him at day by day.
Yeah.
And later, when you came to the satsang in Lucknow, when there was 100, 150 people, suddenly everything exploded for you.
Oh, yes.
And,
completely
natural.
For me and for him.
Yeah.
Because you see, he was 80s, in his 80s at the time. He had a new chapter of life.
Right.
It's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah.
And he didn't, of course, look at his age. The energy was, you can see that
enormous
on YouTube.
Energy,
it's amazing.
Yeah.
And because of Lucknow, we have those very precious satsang.
Right.
Wow, we are lucky.
Right.
Very lucky.
Right. So then, how did your own teaching start?
First of all, I never had in mind to be a teacher because it was not in my skills. I never had a group for something, I was solitary actually. And when I learned that Papaji leaves the body, for me, so I was in Belgium, Mukti was in French Guiana at the time. I was alone, and he was going to leave the body, so I hear that in the night, and I felt, wow, that's an event, an amazing event, as strong as my meeting with him. I remember I had that thought, I am not going to miss it. So I sat and I felt an urgency, but also through a doubt. I had a tremendous doubt that I never had since years, that maybe I never heard what he wanted to tell me. It was terrible. Then, as I have been at a good school, I always heard him, don't land there. So I didn't land on my doubt, which disappeared. And I knew that after Papaji, I can never, ever, I don't know why, but it was with me, trust anybody else. So I had to solve that. And the question, but who is this I who doesn't want to land? And that was it. I never asked this question before. So it was quite, it's a big shock for the person. But I just continued to sit and I kept quiet. I remember I could move a bit in the kitchen and all, but I was, yeah, for a few days I was alone, happily in that way, because it was like that. And I must say, so I had a few friends, very small, not many, but particularly a couple. We were walking in the forest, but I never told them what happened. I didn't want to fall into anything, you know, so I was slowly living. And 2 months later, it was, or a month later,
November.
2 months later,
November.
in November, Rokus phones me that Anasuya has some ashes from Papaji and that she would be here, and you invited me to come. So I took the train, I came, we were a few. It's exactly here, as we are here. We were like 12, 12 lovers of Papaji. And there was one lady I didn't know, and after, I was quiet. I don't think I was telling anything. And I don't know, that lady I didn't know, from Romania, she was a psychiatrist. And probably she has a good smell, because after she asked me that she would like to hear about my life. I said, yeah, okay. So we had a rendezvous. She met me, I think, 1 or 2 weekends later in my house in Brussels. And as a very good psychiatrist, she made me speak as I never spoke about my life with Papaji. And then after that, she said, I bought a house. I come from Romania. I came here. I bought a house, and I always wanted a high purpose for that house, that it serves a purpose. And of course, I offered it to here and there, but would you give satsang? I said, yes. And then suddenly I said, oh my God, what do I say? But then I left it. I said, yes. She took her agenda. I still remember 4th of January, 98. You come to my house, and that's how it started. In Amsterdam.
Oh, in Amsterdam?
Yes.
Oh, in this house here?
No, because she lived somewhere else in
okay.
Amsterdam,
Right,
just in her house.
Okay.
But you two,
So you were there in the first one?
Friend.
Yeah. Right, wow.
it's funny, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then Isaac, maybe, so I came quite often and quickly. We were a bit more, and at some point Isaac was also giving satsang here. I went to his satsang because I didn't know those people from Papaji give satsang. I was so curious, you know. Wow! It was never like this before. So I go, and Isaac said, this lady, you should go to her satsang. So he gave some publicities, people to come to. Then we were a bit more, and you know, it's so funny. Like a snowball.
Right, right.
And those years, for 2-3 years, I said yes to all the invitations. I was into yes, so I traveled a lot, and I was full of energy. I was landing, and very enthusiastic. I could not believe so, because I have not seen Master except in Lucknow, but so much interest for that. It was amazing to see. Oh, I was really impressed. And so I was impressed, and But at some point, I went to Tiru, and Tiru for me is always a place where there is a kind of there is always something for me there. And I stopped satsang. I felt okay, I stopped satsang. The date was there.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Because I was in Australia when you came to Australia.
Yeah.
And I remember that actually you had some trouble in Australia.
Some trouble?
People came to you not because you were giving a wonderful teaching.
Yeah. And I stopped also.
Is that part of the reason you stopped?
The first times it was more that I wanted to be sure not to fall into the trap of satsang. Because you see,
Sorry.
it's not a small thing to be regarded. It's not that you take yourself for a teacher, but in the end, to be regarded as a teacher, I wanted to be sure I'm free from that. You know, but for some reason, and because I have this passion, I must say, it starts again.
So you couldn't really stop.
No, I like it too much. I love this. I love when I see that there is a seeker, and that is just, I say stupidly, it's not stupid, but is just bound by a concept. I love to tell, why do you keep it? You know, it's just a concept. So free yourself. I am that, yeah. I like it.
So this, of course, is what the Master was showing us, yeah? That
Yeah,
actually we're free.
yeah, exactly.
And just we have some kind of idea.
Yes, ideas. So, yeah. It's
So you
very...
became a destroyer of ideas.
Yeah. Yeah, it's no use to be enslaved to an idea. I mean, what a pity. Of course, you will not tell that to somebody who doesn't question it. But if you search to be free, to know yourself, is the only thing which is on the way. So, yeah. It looks very simple, it is very simple, but you know how is the mind. He has tricks. And as we are used to listen to the mind, it may take some time to just be taken by that simplicity of what it is. Yeah.
So would you say that you have a skill to see what exactly is the cloud, what exactly is the idea?
I am very confident about that. Now I can feel.
Sorry, you can't
Feel.
say
I
it.
can feel also,
You can feel.
but I'm very confident that I can touch what's the trouble.
And then everything
No,
explodes.
the rest is not in my hand. I don't know. Yeah, sometimes it has an effect and sometimes not. Yeah.
But this is a great skill, of course, to pierce through the idea, pierce through the cloud,
Yeah.
and
But you know, it's only now, I tell you, it's not only now, means maybe a year or two ago, but that I realize that in fact, to have lived with the Master, consciously or not, who cares, he showed me how to deal with those clouds. I was not aware at all. But today I see, I learned from him, unconsciously. I learned from him.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, those many years of traveling together, you
Yeah.
were a kind of apprentice. You
But
could
I
say.
was not, I thought it was only for me. I never thought it could be used for somebody.
So actually, I mean, your story is a very strong story of destiny unfolding, yeah? From a very
Yeah.
young age, 20,
Mm.
all through your life, this destiny is unfolding actually. And I don't know if it's the last chapter, but one of the recent chapters,
Yeah.
as I understand,
Yeah.
is that you're living in Portugal
Yeah.
with a group of people around.
Yeah.
Not exactly a community in the
No.
way of an ashram, but
No, they are
nevertheless.
free to live as they like, but our common why they come is to come to satsang.
Right.
And I have also something else that I love to go to the ocean in the afternoons, so they know I am available there too.
Right.
And yeah, we have a kind of beautiful way of life.
Right.
Yes, but everybody is free. Is free. I don't necessarily see everybody besides the satsang,
Right.
and it's okay.
But you also have satsang on the beach.
It happens. It happens. Not always, because sometimes I am also liking to be by myself. But then they know it.
You have that look. Yeah, so you have a very beautiful, can imagine, very beautiful
I must
situation.
say, what a beautiful life, yes. And all due to this meeting with Papaji.
Well, I would say, of course, why I wanted to talk to you
Yeah.
is that you had some seed inside you when you were very young,
Yeah,
and you made an incredibly courageous decision to go off at 20 years old into the unknown of India,
yeah,
and existence put you together.
yeah. For me, I don't even know if it was a courage. It was I was totally unconscious, but the urge to solve that problem was so big that otherwise I would have finished my life.
Right.
It's strange because I see now, it's young to say so, but I had seen enough of the world. I knew its total limits, and I knew that even with great pleasures, I had pleasures also, but it always left me in such an unsatisfaction, absurdity, that this was more than I could not bear it anymore, you know. So happily I had the background to read the voice of the wise. And so I felt it's my, I don't know why, but I felt it's my right. I have to find someone, you know.
It's very mysterious.
It's very mysterious. Oof.
Yeah.
Oof. Oh, one is carried, you know.
Right.
My goodness.
And of course, inside you must feel a kind of enormous gratitude for that mystery that carried
Oh,
you.
I tell you, yeah, that gratitude is there, sure. Oh, sure.
And when I met you this year in January, I also met your beautiful daughter Mukti.
Yeah.
Would you care to say anything about the dance that you've gone through between you and Mukti? She's become
It's
a very
dance.
beautiful
It's a
woman.
marvelous dance because, you know, she has been bathing in satsang, maybe not formal satsang, but since she's born, she's in satsang with
Child of
Papaji and
satsang.
whatever. And of course, she was a child, but she was into that atmosphere. And she, of course, like any child, they catch words, you know, here and there. And she was born also with that surge. So when it was more around 9, it became a bit more precise, and then it became we had fantastic talks and sharing at the time, even though I was not freed myself, but I knew a bit more than her, so I could help her in that way. And then she got a glimpse when she was 15. And it was exactly, I remember, we were coming to Amsterdam. We were in Amsterdam with 2-3 friends. We were meeting here to see a satsang of Andrew Cohen, which was for me something new. Who is this guy coming from, Papaji? You know? And so we saw, and then we took a coffee before we took a train with my 2 friends. And in the train back to Brussels, she got a glimpse. And I knew what was happening, happily for her, actually, and for me. So, yeah, she always had her search, very strong. She took Papaji as her master. She took me as a helper. So we have a very strong link, you know.
Right. Yeah, I could feel.
Yeah.
And you say she had a glimpse when she was 15.
Yeah.
And how old was she when she went to see Papaji? A few years later, perhaps? Or?
She saw Papaji when she was 3 weeks old.
Oh, of course, yeah. You lived together
So
with
we
him.
lived together. That's what I say. She was bathing into
Right,
this, you know.
Right.
And and she was always with me when I was seeing Papaji.
Ah, so she.
Yeah, always.
Ah, so she.
She was always present.
Right. Okay.
Except once in '95.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Her search is solved.
Right.
And she's also grateful.
It's almost a family business now.
Is Mrs. Grateful.
Right.
So, I mean, it's we are speechless about that, you know.
Right.
So it is, huh?
I think it's amazingly touching that you're so deeply connected with your daughter. Yeah.
After all, it was his gift.
Yeah. Right.
Gift.
I think it's very
Thank
beautiful.
you very much.
Very beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you very much
Yeah.
for your.
To be asked something a bit more controversial, how it was to this role of wife and student at the same time.
But
This role of being a wife and partner and student at the same
Ah,
time.
she wants me to ask you a question, a little bit complicated question.
Controversial, I said.
Controversial
Yeah, a
question.
bit
Okay.
more.
Okay, so I don't. This is not exactly my question, but this is a question about how it was to mix the role of partner,
Yeah.
student,
Yeah. But you
mother,
yeah.
all these things together.
But I told you already, you see, it looks maybe strange, but I'm like that. I saw Papaji as my master. The rest for me was secondary. It was in the life. And for some reason, I lived that way. And it was my luck.
Right.
It was my luck. Otherwise, you see, as there is a common saying, it's a bit strong, but there is some truth in it. If you wash the socks of your husbands, then you start to have some rights. That I never had. Now, so that for me was absolutely no a problem. It was more difficult when the child grew, and then he was the father of my child.
Right.
So, but we had, because then it was Mukti and me, we had to face that and to cross it.
Right. 'Cause
And it's done.
You were mostly separated at that time. Yeah. Is that right?
Not only that, but you see, There was, as I told you, around 86, we started to understand that a chapter is over. We will not be like a family or us three with us two, or us three together, even though it was about a life of satsang. The disciples took over. There was no more a family in a way.
Right.
It was not radically like this, but it was becoming like this, and then it became radically like this. So it's experiences you have to go through. It's a given up, but it's very strong.
Yeah, because as a woman, you suddenly found yourself sharing him in a way with many other people who loved him tremendously.
Yeah, it wasn't. That was still okay for me. It was more about the father of my child. He should show that he is the father of my child, and that's something. That was a test, and that it was more about that.
Ah, okay.
But you know, you have to come. I see that often. Of course, there are always exceptions, but for me it was this way. I had to come to a peak of the limits of your personality, or to crash, to live, to try to escape because it's unbearable, or to go through.
Right.
And as I told you, my luck was to really hold the feet of my master, even though he was concerned, but that saved us.
Right.
So I'm very lucky.
Right. And I think probably for Mukti also,
Oh yeah, sure.
she had this situation of him being her master and her father.
Yes.
And that also probably not always so easy.
No, and you know there was some. Nothing ever happened is translated in German.
Right.
And that lady asked Mukti to write a preface for the 3rd volume. That she did it.
Right.
And she writes it beautiful. I find she could not write it before, but today she could write it in a beautiful, interesting way.
Ah, good.
Yeah.
Good.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's become a beautiful woman. I was very happy to meet her briefly. Yeah. So I have a last question, which is more my own personal question.
Please.
Because actually, although I didn't meet you before, I've known you for many years.
Yeah.
And always as Mira.
Yeah.
And more recently, I don't quite know when it happened, you became Ganga.
Wow.
I wonder, well, I would like to ask you what
Yeah.
happened for that change, because
Yeah. Okay.
it's quite a dramatic change, but
I don't know if it was so much a change, but I tell you, first of all, it was not Papaji who called me Mira. So I was called Mira by the people who took care of me when I was waiting for Papaji. Why? Because for them, I was a foreigner. All the foreigners at the time were rich. So it meant I was there in a sadhu cloth meditating. So I left my kingdom for them, for the love of God, you know, like Mira.
right.
So they called me Mira. So
okay.
when Papaji asked my name, I said people call Mira. He loved it because he loves that example. He loves that story.
Right.
So he always called.
Mira, yeah.
He tried to give me another name. It never worked. It lasted 2 days. It went back to Mira. Okay. Now, in Tiru, I think it was around 2001 or something, I started a satsang with the name Mira. And I don't know why, I had a kind of, since some time I felt Mira, of course it's beautiful, but I felt I don't fit so much the example of Mira because I was absolutely devoted to my master, but somehow I don't feel I am a symbol of devotion. I have much more friends who are more devotional than me. So I felt the right to change my name and Papaji was not there, and that name was not from him. So I felt, what is the most important place or something? And it was the Ganga where I met my master.
Right, right,
But then I forgot that there was a Ganga Ji already,
right,
you know.
right.
But I felt it's my right. That name really fits me.
Well, actually, on the drive here today, I came up with the same answer exactly.
But yeah,
I think it's exactly right
Yeah,
because you
yeah.
had this amazing meeting at the
It was
Ganga.
at the Ganga.
You lived for
know.
8 months not knowing if you would see him
No,
again.
sure. The Ganga was magical for me,
Right.
and still is. I
Right,
love.
right.
And you know, it was sometimes there are magical events. So that day, I come out of satsang as Ganga,
Right.
and then a small man came, and he was French, and he says, I never saw him, and I never saw him after that. He said, I just come from the source of the Ganga, Gomukh, and this is Ganga water. He gave me a little lota and a stone from there, and he disappeared.
Right, right,
You know, it's so funny.
right, right.
So I felt, okay, I can be called Ganga.
I think it's perfect. really
It's so
beautiful.
funny. It's so funny.
And when you get this kind of confirmation.
Yeah, it was lovely. It was really lovely.
Right, right, right.
Part of.
I think this is your
Magical.
name. I feel. Yeah. Beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
It was a beautiful moment together.
Thank you.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you.